I was like, let's try something new here. So I have a tool I want to open. I mentioned it in one of my other videos. I grabbed this beauty at Harbor Freight, and I was like, you know what? Sometimes it's nice to just talk shop. So I was thinking maybe some people will pop on, maybe nobody will. Again, it's 10 o'clock at night, but I have some questions ready to go. If anybody pops on here, I'll type one in the chat. I actually have another computer going here, so I can maybe get in. Let's see if it works. It says I'm live. If I click on it, and it goes to an ad. I did not know they would do an ad when I go on live. All right, so skip the ad because I don't need to make money off my own video because I think that's against YouTube policy. So I see me. Awesome. Now, can I type into the chat is my question here. And I honestly don't know. So I'm going to try and type a question in the chat and see if it works on my computer here. And I don't see chat option, which is really strange. Well, I'll ask you and then I'll type it in. So the question I was going to ask is, what's the last tool you bought for your shop? Again, I'm about to open up this thing. I got this at Harbor Freight. This was on clearance for $75. This is the Central Machinery 4-inch by 36-inch belt and disc sander. And it just said, it made me think, hey, why not talk shop? So I'll be out here for a little bit opening this, and I wanted to pose some questions to you. So again, I'm going to try and type the question in the chat here. Again, it's not letting me for some reason, but I'm genuinely concerned, if you're a woodworker, what is the last tool you bought for your shop? Because I'm trying to kind of see where people stand, and why can I not access the chat? I do not know. I apologize, but this is the fun in going live. You never know what's going to happen. I'm confused as to why I'm on my computer. Oh, here's live chat. Join the conversation. Maybe. My computer's not letting me do it. Oh, over here. Let's try here. All right, what's the last tool you bought for your shop? 4 people are on. Can somebody tell me? It looks like it just popped up. So it's actually coming from Imperfect But Improving. That's another channel I literally just started. But that question is from me. So I'd love to know, what's the last tool you bought for the shop? And while you're answering, again, I'm going to open this thing up. Have any of you ever used Central Machinery? I've never bought any of their power tools. But again, I could not pass on this thing for $75. So I want to open this up and see how this thing actually works and see if I can figure out how I'm going to set this thing up. I did look on the Harbor Freight website. This is available on the website for $75. It was just a freak thing I saw. If you're like me, every time you go to Harbor Freight, you have to walk up and down all the aisles. That's what I was doing, and boom, I came across this deal. So again, it is on the website. What is it? What is the tool, or what is the conversation? Conversation is, I want to know what the last tool you bought was. The tool is the belt and disc sander. So I want to open this thing up and see what I got for $75 here, because again, I could not pass on that deal. I did a project recently. Or kids watches Naruto at all, so I will to watch the show like 15 years ago. My son is watching it, and he built a paper kunai, one of those knives, and I was like, you know, I'm gonna make one. It would have been a whole lot easier with one of these. I did it with an orbital sander. Let me grab it real quick. So it was this thing right here. So I made this out of a fence picket. All right, so it's kind of like, you know, I took the picket and cut the general shape, and I sanded it down. And this was a pain in the butt to do with an orbital sander. This would have made it easier, so maybe I'll try and make it again. We'll see if it works. But, mind if you spare me a tool? What tool are you looking for? Liam D15. I actually, so I'm going to throw this out there. At some point soon, I'm trying to make sure I know YouTube's rules so I don't get kicked off or something like that. But I did just have a company give me a tool or two, and they said they don't mind if I do a giveaway. I'm just trying to find out the rules for how to do that, and we'll see. And I also have a company that gave me another product for a giveaway, so that stuff will be coming up in a video soon. I'm just talking to YouTube and make sure I don't do something that's going to get me, you know, monetized or booted. Somebody said something, you can't make it so that it's like enticing subscribers for free products, things like that. I'm just going to, you know, do a video and give it away while I'm doing something. All right, so this beautiful thing right here for $75. Again, belt and disc sander. Central Machinery, I think the retail on it was normally like $140 or $150, something like that. I've never bought any of these tools. At the very least, it came with some sandpaper. So I posed the wonderful question of what's the last tool anybody bought, and I got people asking me for free tools. So I'll see what I can do. All right, so has a little miter head. I'm assuming make sure you're keeping your angles clear. Oh God. Don't even know what that is. We'll find out. All right, this thing looks like it's pretty much already assembled, and I'm really just earned yourself a to be answering that first question of what's the last tool you bought. So you know what? I'm going to pose a different question. I'll type it in the chat here. And that question, since I'm opening a new tool, I think this is a good one. So the question I'm going to put in is, what tool changed your woodworking the most? Now, I know this is going to make things a little bit easier for me, but what's a tool you bought and suddenly it just changed? I don't know if that question actually posted or not. It did not go into the chat unless it went to the top. Ah, well, anyways, what tool did you buy that just changed how you work? Was it a table saw or a miter saw? All right, I'm going to have to get this down off of here and try and get out of this box. Well, there's all these little pieces I'm going to have to figure out how this all goes together. This looks almost like a really big brake pedal for a car. I could kind of see that. Now I kind of want to make a go-kart, but that's just ADHD right there. So I'm probably not going to make a go-kart out of that and make that a pedal. Probably not. Maybe. All right, see if I can get this thing out of this box. Oh, got it. All right, let's check out this beauty and see if this thing was worth $75. I am pleasantly surprised. This thing basically came all together. Pop it up here. And again, it's not huge, all right? About 75 bucks. We've got the belt sander on here, and obviously those parts that were over there would be the disc sander component. Like I said, this is on the website, $75 at Harbor Freight. Assuming it works, if it's a decent sander. I've been looking at Marketplace, and I couldn't find one for any cheaper than this. And they were used ones. And most importantly, boom, it fits on the cart. So I'm excited. Again, I'm going to make another one of those kunais with that project. What is that? And my chat is either dead. My question's not popping up. That's okay. I'm going to try one more time here. So, posting another comment, hopefully working. It will not let me post another comment. Try one more time. There we go. Now it's working. So I'm going to put a few questions over there. There it is. All right, it popped up. So what tool changed your woodworking the most? So again, I'm hoping this one makes a change. But I have another question I want to ask you on that one. And it's kind of a rivalry question here. What do you think is more important to have in the shop? A miter saw or a table saw? And if you answer, I'd love to know why. Because this is a big conversation I've had with people. I posted a video recently and I was talking about a miter saw, and I did the 5 basic cuts that you should be able to do on your miter saw. You know, a basic cross cut and a miter cut and a sliding cut and like a dado cut, a half lap cut, and a bevel cut. And somebody was like, oh wow, the miter saw can't even do, and then it's like rip cut and then long dado cut and stuff like that. So they were obviously a miter saw hater. But I'd love to know which one you prefer. I personally think for safety purposes, especially if you're a beginning woodworker, that the miter saw is the better way to go. That's just my personal thought. But I'd love to know what you think. All right, so I want to actually get a decent look at this sander here, though, because I think that was in the title, and it might be why somebody popped on here. You can see my shop is also my gym here. So we work with what we have. You might see some of my videos from work where I have a nice big shop. I don't have that at home. I don't have, you know, all that here. Half of these tools were off Marketplace and stuff like that. But I'm excited about this. And the thing I don't know is how I put it all together, which means I'm actually going to have to read directions. I guess there's a better question. Are you the kind of guy that reads directions, or do you ignore them? I don't know why that popped up there. Sorry, my chat's doing something weird on my screen here. I'm new to this. So I guess the only thing I really need to do here is figure out how to put on the disc sander. And you probably don't want to sit here and watch me do that. So I guess what I was hoping for was to get a little more conversation going. We got some people watching. Oh, we do have some highs, thankfully. Frogger Caddy. Hello, how you doing? Nina Blake says, bro. Hello, Raphael Andrews. Hope everybody is doing good tonight. If you're watching right now, I'd love to know, are you a shop worker? Are you a hobby woodworker? Do you have a big shop? Me personally, if you don't know me at all yet, I am a CTE teacher. I was a special ed teacher for 7.5 years, and then I moved into the shop. So I teach construction tech, so framing, plumbing, electrical, all that fun stuff. Yes, wood shop still exists. We don't call it wood shop. We do lots of other stuff. Engraving, CNCs, all that fun stuff. But I have a lot on here just hobby woodworkers, which is amazing. That's kind of what I'm trying to teach my students to be, just teach them the basics, and hopefully they will, go on and be confident and able to build stuff and all that fun stuff. So, if you need a job, I will tell you this, we have a national shortage for tech ed teachers. If you're a good woodworker, it might be something we're looking into. We got a few people popping on here. Hello, everybody. I don't know what all this crazy slang abbreviations mean, and that's okay. We'll go with that. All right, I'm going to try one more question to get a chat going. If this doesn't work, I'm probably going to wrap it up soon and take some time to get this together, and then I'll pop back on at some point when I have it all together. I didn't realize how much assembly was required for this. So last question. Favorite tool brand, all right? Are you a DeWalt person or a Ryobi or Milwaukee? I'll make a note on this. I was having this conversation with my students the other day. Pick one. Just pick one. And the reason I say that is because these stinking battery packs, all right? So I personally bought myself a DeWalt drill driver set, and it was a good buy. They're good tools. And then my awesome sister, who knows I love woodworking, she got me a Ryobi set. That was a drill with a nail gun and a flashlight, and I think one other thing. And then one company that sent me a few things to kind of review is Woodstarter, and they've sent me some awesome products. But so now I've got 3 different sets of batteries going, and it's driving me absolutely crazy. But I don't want to get rid of any because they're all awesome tools. So if you had to pick one, what would your brand be? Just out of curiosity. And I'm not getting answers. I'll assume someone is typing right now. That, or I've got 17 people watching and nobody wants to answer the question. I'll pop that one into the chat real quick. And if we get nothing there, I think it's going to be about time to wrap it up. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right account. Let me switch this over. Ryobi. All right, so a lot of mixed views on those. I have had no problems with them. Does anybody in here watch, I want to say it's 731 Woodworking. I believe that's the name of the guy's channel. He actually commented on one of my videos recently. It was nice to know that he came across it. He's done a lot of Ryobi videos talking about how great they are. And I've seen a couple people tearing his videos apart. They're like, no, Ryobi's garbage. And they're like, these workers who are like, here's what happens after, using it's going to last very long. But I've had no issues with Ryobi. I did have one person give me an old Ryobi drill, and they gave it away because it was a little bit beat up. So at that point, I couldn't really judge it much. Like the teeth didn't line up when you turned the chuck. It didn't work too great. So as of right now, thanks to Kevin England, 8209, Ryobi is the winner as the best tool brand ever, because that is the only comment we have. So I'm going to assume you all agree that Ryobi is the top dog. A lot of people may disagree, but they just don't have anything to say about it. And that is okay right now. I'm trying. Oh, here we go. Again, this is weird. I'm not used to using the computer at the same time I have my phone out. My last question in, and then I'm probably going to wrap it up. And this is actually a good one here. This is a tool right here, this sander that I just opened up, that I wish I had gotten sooner. Which leads to the perfect question right now, which is in the chat. And it says, what's one tool you wish you had bought sooner. So for a lot of people, it's, you know, they start off with a miter saw and they wish they had a table saw. Table saws make a huge difference in terms of, you know, what you can do in the shop. But for some people, it's a specialty tool. Now, I don't have any crazy specialty tools that I need at the moment for what I do. I did pick up a decent set of Forstner bits recently, but it really depends on what exactly it is that you're trying to make in your shop. If there's a very specific project that you're working on, you need a specialty tool, I guess what's holding you back from getting it? Are you looking for the cheap one? Are you saving up to get the right one? Me personally, I've always had a lot of trouble buying expensive tools. I know quality is important, especially when it comes to tools. I've just always, even growing up, I was somebody who wanted to look for the cheapest option for something. I've gotten better in my old age. I still don't think I could ever spend more than $50 on a pair of sneakers personally. I have students who buy like, you know, $500 shoes, and I'm like, oh my God, what are you doing? Put that in a Roth IRA and retire, you know, in 50 years. But that's just me. But when you buy your tools, are you looking for the cheapest ones? Or are you actually getting something that's, you know, high quality right off the bat? I can see it both ways. If you don't have the money to buy something fancy up front, but you need the tool right away, I'll say need the tool right away, because a lot of these tools we buy, we don't need, buy them because we want them. But let's say you do need one for a specific project. I'll tell you, this is a conversation I have with my wife all the time. Something will come up and I'm like, okay, I can do that, but I need to get this tool to do it. And she'll always argue, and she's like, yeah, but is it really cheaper if you have to go buy the tool than paying someone to do it? And I'm like, 100% it's still cheaper. All right, in most projects, I mean, calling an electrician to change a light switch is $150 these days. So yes, I think it's definitely, it makes sense to buy the tool. It's just, if you need it right away, are you going to buy the cheap one just to get the job done? Or are you going to buy the expensive one and know that you have it for in the future when you're going to need that tool again? So that's all I got today. I was hoping to get some conversation going. It's late at night. People are tired. This is something I'd like to try and do more, just kind of talk shop if we can get some good conversations going. I'm going to say tonight was a semi-flop. We've got a few people in here, and I've had a little bit of conversation going, but I think everybody's kind of tired at this point in night. I will say I'll get back when I have this tool all put together. Maybe I'll finish it up tomorrow and kind of test it out and do a video giving it a review. But again, if you are looking for a belt and disc sander, again, Freight website. Again, this one is on clearance for $75. It was the, what was it, 36-inch, 4-inch belt, or 4-inch disc sander, 36-inch belt sander. You can't beat that price if they have any left. I happen to be at Harbor Freight. I just saw it randomly. There was one left. I grabbed it and I ran out of that place with it. After I paid for it, I should specify that. Don't grab tools and run out of Harbor Freight. I'm in no way saying that's okay. All right, but I'm excited to try it out. So I will be back with some more tool trainings. I know my channel's been slacking on new builds. I've had a few other projects going, not to mention, you know, teaching full-time and 2 kids, and I'm about to be my daughter's soccer coach. So life is kind of busy, but I'm sure many of you know what that's like. So I will be back soon with a new build video. I hope everybody has a great night.